Hello. Hello.
I'm just gonna really quickly get myself a canned beverage. I will be momentarily. Thankfully, there's plenty of time on the countdown. All right, I have my drink. Ugh. Oh goodness, excuse me. I think I've realized something. There's a part of me that, blah, 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 brain, you can do this, Grant. Why are you having such a... The Saturday late night stream is absolutely fantastic. And then I, like, was so, like, not sleepy. I didn't even sleep, like, the full 8 hours back on Sunday, because I went to bed when it was, like, 4 in the morning or something like that, and then for whatever reason, my body's like, it's 8 a.m., time to start the day. And then I had to, like, wake up, normal early time today, Monday. And I couldn't convince my body to go to sleep before, like, 10 o'clock or midnight last night. So, like, once again, Grant just being an idiot and not doing the, not doing the compensation of, late night hours and what have you. I don't know why, but... something that just pops into my head. Because Lord knows, like... part of me is just like, sleep would be nice. You ever have those days where you told yourself things and you're like... 10 minutes later, you're like, but what if we relaxed? What if we didn't do any of that? What if it was just, a calm and collective day? Although it's not going to be a calm and collective day. It is a day where I need to do my thing. I need to do the streams. I need to play the Devil May Cry. It's taken us 2 streams. Yeah, I think we're up to, this is now the 3rd stream. And we'll be going through the Dante side, so I miss Nero. just thinking about it, it's like I miss Nero. Like I liked his style. I liked how easy and simple it was. If you're wondering what's going on with my streams and such, yay, showtime! Hi there, 10 Mucks. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I hope you're doing okay. I am in a weirdly, not explicitly, brain, you can do this. I'm not, completely out of it, but at the same time, I'm in a bit of a weird, low energy kind of, mood. I'm not sad or anything like that. I'm not emotionally down. I'm just... I was about to say mentally slow. No, that's not it. I was gonna say I was, what's a mahoozy? Just, if my brain will decide to actually, do the needful and what have you, but it is not, which is very, very annoying. I merely, what was I talking about? Chat! What was I talking about? What did I want to go on about? What did I want to do? What did I want to discuss? I have, very little in my brain. Maybe if I crack open this Pepsi. Sorry, you messed up your topic? No, you didn't mess up you didn't mess up anything! It's me, up here, on the stage, like a stand-up comedian, and like good old Robin Williams in his later years, there came moments where my brain was doing something, and then the brain didn't. Has anyone ever had those? I think people call them brain farts. Yeah, no, people definitely had brain farts. What the fuck am I thinking? I'm just wondering if anyone has, a recent example of a brain fart in an embarrassing situation where it's just like, ah, yes, I was doing a presentation, or I was in the middle of streaming, and we were talking about, stuff. Oh my gosh, how did I ever get to here? Also, I am so... Where's Cap? Maybe that's what I need. I need Cap. I need my co-host for the, I need Cab, the Devil May Cry expert in here, so then that way my co-host, I have someone to riff with and bounce off of. You prefer Lost My Train of Thought because you like trains. Fair enough. Train of thought, brain fart. There's probably like all kinds of different thingy madiri brain. There's all kinds of different like phrases, no doubt, for the whole brain thinking one thing and then it is inadequate in doing the job. So yeah. What happened in my day? Let's see. I had my classic Mondays where I actually had to work this Monday, which, you know, I really want Australia to get with the program. People have been experimenting, people have been in discussion about the 4-day work week where you take the Monday, the Saturday, and the Sunday off. I love that idea. I do not understand how this is not just being pushed by the rest of the country. What are we getting our politicians for? What are we paying them with our tax dollars to do? Because I very much want this. I would love to have the Monday be free. Because think about it. Think of how much time I could sleep in. I wouldn't be waking up at like 6 o'clock. Instead, I'd be waking up at like 7, maybe 8. I just want to sleep. I just want to do nothing. You ever have those where you just want to like actually that's probably why a lot of you are here. You probably have something that you're meant to be doing that you're not doing right now. And instead of doing the thing that you were meant to be doing, you are now watching this zebra because you told yourself, "You know who's going to make me feel better? GrantZeebs. I am going to watch one of his streams." Lo and behold, you forget that GrantZeebs has a shockingly poor memory and can barely string 2 sentences together when he is on low energies and is not with the not writing material, with the conversation topics. At some point, I might need to start having conversation starters, like just sitting on a screen somewhere. I just have like, you know, a fresh list of dot points where it's like based off of the current affairs today or things that have been on my mind earlier in the day or earlier in the week. And I'm like, you know what? We should discuss this. Because who knows? It's not like I get prompted by chat for some of this stuff. Actually, you know what? Let me share some news. So, I have actually returned to my intensive shake diet, actually. So, for those of you who have been, you know, keeping track for like since October last year in my attempts of losing weight, the intensive shake diet is basically, you know, all 3 of your meals, it's a diet shake. And that's all you can have. You have to also have like 2 liters of fluids, and obviously those 2 liters of fluids cannot contain calories. So what this means is that you can't have coffee with like the milk and sugar. You can have, you know, long blacks. You can have teas. Teas are good. They don't have they have like negligible calories. I think it's like 1 to 2 calories per liter or something crazy like that. It's not like it's a negligible amount because you're going to be burning more you're going to be burning more energy trying to consume the hot beverage than it is that the hot beverage will give you. How much do you weigh? How much do I weigh? So after I've been on a diet break for like the last 3 weeks, so most of July, I had not followed my diet regime. I didn't stick to like, you know, the 2 shakes 1 meal diet that I was on back in like ever since April, I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat whatever I want. Now, originally, the intention was that I wouldn't go down a crazy route of terrible eating habits. I would instead, you know, try and, you know, be a little bit modular. That did not pan out. That did not work. There were days where I would eat raw cookie dough, and then 3 or 4 days later, I was getting a DoorDash delivery. So that happened. But, you know, I don't fully regret the diet break. I don't regret it. It was nice being able to try out foods again, and not like have a terrible thought of like, oh no, I need to work extra hard the next day or the week after. It's like, no, I'm on a diet break. I will do like all this kind of stuff. It's gonna be fine because by the time we get to, you know, today, the 28th, I will be back on the intensive shake diet where, you know, it's not explicitly a cold turkey because I have done this kind of thing before and I was already like transitioning out of it. So being able to like, you know, have my 3 weeks of eating whatever I want. Hello, Omega Platinum. I went up from like 90 kilos to 98 kilos in about 3 weeks. So there was intense amounts of weight gain for the 3 weeks that I was not on my shake diet or doing proper exercise and what have you, which, you know, yes, that's a little bit high. That's like more than 2 kilograms a week gained, but, you know, who's counting? Me. I'm counting. That's who's counting. So yeah, so now we're back onto the intensive shake diet. So for the minimum 3 weeks, I don't know how long I'll do this for. If I did it for the full 3 months, I probably could do it because basically for the month of August, September, October, that's 3 months, I could be on all 3 of my meals being just the diet shake with no additional calories and 2 liters of fluids from whatever sources. I could do that. And it probably wouldn't be the worst thing considering at work we have like spring carnival going off in November, so I would still be able to enjoy the Melbourne Cup celebrations that every Australian office does come Melbourne Cup. Regardless of the industry, if you are in a white-collar job with televisions in your offices, there is a non-zero chance that your office or what have you will be like, oh, hey, since Melbourne Cup is happening in Melbourne, we thought it would be so great if we encouraged our employees to dress up in fancy outfits while they work at their desks. So I imagine that. So I imagine that's how HR sounds like in everyone else's offices around Australia is like that. So yeah. So but our offices do that. I can't emulate our HR officer lady and men's voices, so don't bother. So yeah, but yeah, so Melbourne Cup, they will normally do, we gotta go with all the stops. We have a lunch provided, we've got champagne, it's fantastic. So I want to be off the diet, like the intensive diet, during that day. I very much love the idea of being able to have like a proper cheat day during Melbourne Cup because of all the different foods and snacks that are available to us on that day in the office. So yeah, so even though I'm on an intensive shake diet starting today, I've had like I've already had all 3 of my sachets, and I had like, you know, the vanilla shakes left over from back in June, so I'm getting through all those first before I crack open the new flavors that I got for myself, the strawberry, the maca, and the chocolate. Although one of the things I need to do is I do need to get myself, I need to make sure I have like the coffee ones, because maca, I only have like 8 or 12 sachets of the maca. I need to get, from the Chemist Warehouse, I need to get the coffee variant because you can get like a bulk order of OptiFast. I should probably double check if I can purchase that. Let's have a look. Recently viewed. Delivery, change. Oh no, it's out of stock. That is not what I want. Alright, so we got, so if we check out, I don't need 3 of them, I just need 2 of them. So, let's see, can I get this one? I don't know, like, I also need to check my funds. But yeah, it looked like it wasn't in stock with the Chemist Warehouse that's like walking distance from me, but it does look like I can get it delivered. Look, if you do the shake diet like what I'm doing, diversify your flavors, okay? because I've just had like 3 meals of just vanilla flavor. I can definitely do that. The Tism in me can definitely, just, go the hard and fast route of just eat the same, or not eat, but sip or drink. I could probably just sip the same flavor, over and over and over and over again. But I would like to diversify those flavors. I want to go for like a breakfast flavor in the morning, and then, for lunch, we go with like a classic, and then the evening could be a treat myself flavor. OptiSlim? OptiFast. OptiSlim is the Australian brand, and OptiSlim, I'll be real with you, does not taste as great as OptiFast. I don't know what it is about the, I don't know what it is about the viscosity of OptiSlim, but it doesn't taste as good, quite frankly. OptiFast is a much better flavor, quite frankly. Hello there, Sir Dragon. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing all right. How are things? Also, I should probably double check someone. Bam. Boom. Mutual friends. Okay, this is kind of funny because dunk dink dunk. Oh, I spelt that incorrectly. Capricious. Where is Capricious? There we go. Anyway, you need to lose weight. 8, fair enough. Also, yes, it is also cold here, Sir Dragon. I don't know why it's I don't know why Australia gets so cold. It got so windy on the way home today as well. Like, I know I'm not as heavy as I was, like, back when I started this like weight loss thingy-majiggy, but so I know it's not because of me losing weight, 8, but it was a really strong winds today. Or at least this afternoon, I should say. Not today, just the afternoon. I do not understand. It was like, it was really trying to blow me. Like, trying to like get me off my feet. And I was just like, what in the world? The winds were very strong today. Cool, so I wasn't the only one that thought this. Nice to hear this, Tanmux. Excellent. I would have been in hot water if someone was just sort of like, nah, the winds were totally fine. What do you want about it? And I'm just going to be sitting there like, what in the world was I experiencing at the intersection where I felt like I was going to be like pushed aside? Ooh, sippies. I should probably have a sip of normal water before I, binge the rest of this Pepsi Max. Also, open. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, probably talk to a dietitian about whether or not the intensive shake diet is a good idea, Jason, because you are going to be running on fumes. Just FYI. Lord knows that I'm probably going to be running on fumes. Like, you probably notice it already, given my attention span and the lack of not consistency, the lack of brain, you can do this. The lack of cohesion. That's the word I'm looking for, cohesion. The lack of cohesion going off in me right now, you might have noticed. And that's because, I've already gone through one day of just, minimal energy. So that's about 160, 324, about 480 calories of energy today. I don't know if it is technically more than that because of the fact that like water plus shake water plus satchel equals more than 160 calories, but here's where we are right now. It's probably a really good thing that we don't have face tracking right now because I am just like, staring off into the side and just stroking the hairs of my beard. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a beard, chat. You don't see it. It's not a good beard. It's not like one of those like facial hairs where it's like, a nice immaculate like chunky like, a digit's length or something like that. it's a scrungly, it's a very scrungly kind of beard where it's like, you know, just barely anything on the sides. It's all under the chin, Abe Lincoln kind of stuff. And I cannot be bothered doing, like, you know, the nice trimming to make it so that it's only, you know, an Abe Lincoln, like, thin razor thing. Your nuts are frozen to the seat. That's how cold it is. God damn. Also, hi there, Night Sky. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for all the awoos. Where's my meme? I need to show this off as often as I can, because quite frankly, it is... If no one got me, I know Sky got me. Night Sky is an absolute fucking gem, because sometimes they'll see my stuff and they'll just post it. They'll retweet it, they'll like it, and they'll go, oh woo. It's fantastic. I love it. I am very thankful for Night Sky doing this. And what's more is, when you look at Night Sky's feed, a lot of the times, he's also just, you know, liking and reposting something and then going, oh woo. This man is raising the self-confidence of very many furry artists out there. See, look, he did it just then. He just said a woo. All right. So that's a little more of my what's mahoozy. Also, why in the world? There we are. Ding dong. We are going to go into... Okay, I'm going to be doing a lot of alt-tabbing, so hopefully this isn't going to be the end of the world or anything like that. Alright, let's see. Is this game going to work? Yes, it will. Awesome. Now, is this source gonna show? Come on. Why is nothing showing? Breaking news. Large Zebra breaks the world. I'm not breaking the world. I am merely breaking... I am breaking this presentation. That's all that's being broken right now. It's capturing any full screen application. You know what? Worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, we just close this particular application and start it again, because Lord knows we probably just need to do that. We probably just need to start the application again, and then it will be captured properly.
Pull the lever.
Do not pull the lever! Why do I even have that lever? How's it going? Masonic, you doing good? Excuse me while I run this application again, and it does the visual thingy-madiggy, of course. Alright. Yay! The game is presenting this time. Let's go! You doing alright? You're just drinking coffee? Nice! I am drinking water and a Pepsi Max. I am back on my intensive shake diet, so I won't be able to enjoy the peanut butter pretzels that we had in the that we have in the office. I won't be able to order in, like, you know, Chinese food or go out to eat sushi. I forgot to get myself a sushi train session. I really wish I went for a sushi train during this diet break, but I didn't leave the house that often. Also, I feel like Sushi Train would be really great with friends.
Oh, great.
Wait, what the fuck? Why am I... That should not be my costume. Why am I dressed... Something went wrong.
Enough obstacles already.
I need to change my costume. That is incorrect. Systems? Quit mission. Yes. Nero. There we go. Back to... Too bad I don't live in Australia. We could go for sushi. Fair. There are some people I... Like, granted, the number of people I want to hang out is very limiting. Because of, like, you know, timing and vibe checks. Maybe one day. Maybe one day in the future. Alright. A poisonous gas permeates the air. You must escape before your life is drained. Oh, joy. Oh, wait, hang on. There we go! Giving us a blue orb, so we use those to recover our health. It's like 4K for a ticket from here in Canada to Sydney. Yeah, okay. One of the things that I'm trying to save up for as well, like the reason why I'm also glad that I'm back on the intensive shake diet is because of the fact of, oh shit. These guys are not going to be great. These guys are going to be painful. I do not know how I am going to deal with them, so I'm just going to ignore them for the next minute. Oh, no, I have to confront them. Shit! Oh, goodness. Alright, so we kind of have a solution. Why did you need my pixels? Also, I realized that I started a conversation and I did not progress it. So, one of the reasons why I'm glad that I'm on the intensive shake diet again is because the cost of food is not great from... Oh my goodness, there's a statue of me. Ow. Okay, so we're not engaging with the puzzle thing then. Thank you for the boops, Masonic. You can save money on food costs. Yes, that was it. And the reason for the savings is, number one, it's expensive as fuck living in Australia right now because of a cost of living thingamadiggy. But the other reason is because Unnamed really, really wants me to go to Texas for the Texas Fur Fiesta. Now, there we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. It's Devil May Cry 2 gameplay all over again. There we go. So yeah, so Unnamed would really like for me to come along to the Texas Fur Fiesta, which is going off next year. Now, it is expensive traveling to the United States. Hey, so the best means for me to, like, get there is save money wherever I can. So, the fact that I have, like, you know, less to spend on food and what have you, because I'm now just... Oh, boy. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. All right. Sorry. So yeah, so by not spending a lot of money on food, I have money that I'm able to put to the side to save for the Texas Fur Fiesta. So because I've already started trying to save like a portion of my income. So like, you know, the full-time job that I have is helping that oh so much, like you would not believe. So that is really important. I would love to be able to have like, you know, this like Twitch streaming thing be enough to be able to do like a decent amount of savings, but unfortunately, oh, I should probably hit save so then that way pause. But unfortunately, the amount, so it costs it cost me like $5,000 in order to get to Texas and get a hotel. It's gonna cost me quite a bit. If you go to Texas, don't forget to try a Texas barbecue. Some meats in Texas are so tender you can eat it with a spoon. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I'm being told. And what's more is there are things. Hang on a second. If the game isn't letting me do the thing. Never mind. Blah 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 blah. Brain, you can do this. Unnamed has a series of things that they would love for us to do, and a Texas barbecue is one of them. Going to a Buc-ee's, gun range, wearing a Stetson. There's a number of things that we want to try and such. But yeah, overall, the calculation that I've put it together in order to try and get to the in order to get to Texas, have a hotel room, and be able to pay my dues in terms of food and bullets, it's gonna cost me like I need to save up like $7,500. I have a lot of saving to do. And it's a good thing that this was kind of told to me like all the way back in like April or May. So I've technically been trying to save ever since like May. But yeah, you are also right. Twitch isn't exactly a great employer. Twitch is a great employer if you have a lot of like viewers and what have you. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of viewers. Or not, let me rephrase that. I don't have like a lot of I don't have a lot of charitable viewers is the correct thing. So that's one of the things you got to contend with is like I don't have too many viewers that are, you know, subscribers or doing like, you know, crazy amounts of bits. Come on, fuck it. Never mind. There we go. Crazy amount of bits or throne or coffees or what have you. Although to be fair, I haven't really, you know, promoted the fact that I have a coffee or what have you. All right. I have a barely an understanding on where this guy wants me to go. Thank you for the boops. I do appreciate it. So yeah, need to try and save my money wherever I can. The only other way I can like greatly reduce my expenditures is if I get you know, a new place to live that isn't as expensive. But my lease does not end until... What the fuck was that? Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, I don't have a lot of, I don't have like a lot of different ways for me to save money, like at least like, you know, substantially save and what have you. You know what? Fuck it. Come on. Oop. And I'm doing this while my health is being reduced. Thank you for the boops. My brain, come on, you can do this, Grant. Oh, goodness, Raid. Oh, who's that? Who's doing this? Michael McCaw, welcome to the stream. I have never seen you before. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer. Normally, you'll see a shirt that I'm wearing that says himbo, but thanks to one of my moderators, they got me... They worked on some PNGTuber art for when I'm playing the Devil May Cry series, because I have never played through the Devil May Cry series. Thank you so much, Ethern Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Ethern for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, if you have no idea what this this himbo streamer is about, like the things they want to play, I like to play games that might be in other people's like nostalgia that I have not had the personal experience of playing. So in the past, never played Yakuza series, so I went and played a little bit of the Yakuza. Granted, I didn't go that far into it. Before I was like, I just want to go to the modern days. So that's where we're at with that. But Kingdom Hearts, Spyro, things like of that nature, never played them before, so I played them on stream. And for Monday nights, I'm going through the Devil May Cry series. I had never played the Devil May Cry... Well, that's not true. I've only played the Devil May Cry remake before streaming. And so I've decided to go through the Devil May Cry series to see what it's all about and why people do not like Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry. I went through Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, and we're currently going through Devil May Cry 4. Quick sippies to get my energy and my, a pause. Boobies! Thank you, Karma. Oh, damn it. I sipped my Pepsi, and then I tried talking too quickly. Darn it. Hopefully you had a wonderful time over at Michael McCaw as they were playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. I am not playing Donkey Kong Bonanza on stream, but I do have the game. I think it's pretty fun. I hope you all had a wonderful time watching Michael McCaw. But yeah, if you need to hop off, lurk, de-stream and all that because you got, eating or sleeping you need to do, totally understand. I will try my absolute darndest keeping everyone here entertained. So yeah. It is no longer painful to breathe. The poisonous gas must not reach this area. Oh, thank goodness. Whoop. Deal. And yep. Where is this taking me? Okay, so... Am I going the right way? Hopefully I'm going the right way. If I'm not going the right way, this is going to be a bit of a problem. Where the fuck am I? Like, I remember going through this as Nero. Like, by eliminating its source, the magical barrier of ice is melted. Ah, okay, so I'm still in the Church of Dante chapel or what have you. Good to know, good to know. It looks like you will be able to leave the castle now. Excellent. Awesome. Also, did I miss a thingy-majiggy here? Yes, I have no idea how I'd get up there, so we're gonna leave that be. And then we are just gonna make our way... Dunk. We're gonna make our way out. So this should now lead us... I think this will lead us back to the Fiery Centaur boss. I think that that was like one of the first bosses we dealt with as Nero. Yeah! Is this the right... Is it a Cerberus? Yeah, I think... Is it the right one? Nope, that's an entirely different creature. It's like a fiery Cerberus instead. Except it only has one dog head. Alright, so what is the solution to you guys? Ow. Ah! Come on! If they didn't, like, get pushed so far away with my stinger, I reckon I would have a good way to combo them, but I don't really, which is a shame. You've never played DMC yourself, you've just seen a lot of other people do it, you're not super great at games with this style of action, same reason I never finished Bayonetta. Oh, right! I think Bayonetta is also on my to-do list. Pretty sure the guy that made the first Devil May Cry He was kind of in on, like, as a consultancy thing for the second Devil May Cry. He wasn't, like, you know, he wasn't, like, too involved with the development process of Devil May Cry afterwards. So the creator of Devil May Cry, like, the first one, he's over in doing Bayonetta stuff. So, yeah. Thank you so much for the follow, Michael. I greatly appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, though, and I hope you enjoy Donkey Kong Bonanza when you get the chance to play it. Thank you! I have been playing the Donkey Kong Bonanza off-stream. I have recently made it that I am not, you know, playing... I'm not playing, like, the brandest newy games. Like, I know that sounds really weird considering I have on my stream schedule for Wednesday and Friday, like, Death Stranding 2. But, like, frankly... Like, that's probably going to be the last, like, modern game that I'm going to be playing solo on my streams. Like, if it's a game that came out this year, and it's not one that I'm, like, you know, collaboratively playing with another streamer, I'm probably going to need to tell myself, do not play this game on stream, because I want to enjoy the game, and I also don't want to, like, you know, make it where it's like, I have to play it on stream for people, because some people who watch me don't want to get spoiled on brand new games. Some of them would much rather play and experience the game themselves, and I totally understand. I have not seen any streams of Deltarune because I want to, at one point, go through the Undertale and Deltarune games myself. And the best way to do that is, you know, going into it with, like, a slightly blind experience. I feel bad. I'm kind of tied to a new release at this point. I haven't had a ton of time to play backlog games, hoping to get a game or two in after my current one before the fall releases start. Oh, yeah, when Broketober comes in. Do we have a lot of big games during Broketober that we need to worry about? I have been very oblivious to game releases and what have you, because I'll be frank, the Donkey Kong Bonanza one... Yeah, I knew there was going to be a Donkey Kong Bonanza because of, you know, Nintendo Directs showing off of, like, oh, hey, you are definitely going to want to play these, Oh, boy. Was I supposed to be all the way down here? No, I think I was meant to be all the way down here. Never mind. But yeah, so I knew that there was going to be a Donkey Kong Bonanza during the Nintendo Direct, but oh my goodness. I was not at all, like, prepared for when it came out this month. Broketober? Yeah, so it's basically Broketober is, like, the made-up phrase for all the big game releases, because you'll notice that most of the biggest game releases and that take the most amount of, like, people's time and what have you, at least AAA games wise, comes out in around about September, October. So, you know, Broketober, because there's all these games that people want to play and they don't want to be spoiled on it, so they'll purchase the game. Outside of Pokemon, I kind of have nothing else on my radar after October. Fair enough. I don't think I have anything in my radar personally either. Like, I know everyone is, like, anxiously waiting for GTA 6 in 2026, and I'm just sort of sitting here, like, you know, waiting for the pattern to emerge of, like, oh, here's a video game that everyone was excited for, and because of the trends of the markets, the majority of the audiences that are interested in Grand Theft Auto go to Grand Theft Auto 6, love it, and then really quickly dip out of it to go back to Grand Theft Auto 5 because they have invested way too much time into Grand Theft Auto Online. So it's going to have the same sort of treatment as Red Dead Redemption 2 did, which is that everyone is going to say Red Dead Redemption 2 was an amazing game, but then everyone leaves it because Red Dead Online was where Rockstar was going to try and make their money with Red Dead Redemption 2, but no one really wanted to engage with it because everyone had already had so much content to go through in Grand Theft Auto Online. Like, this is one of the biggest problems you have to deal with when you are an online game, is that you have to try and convince people who are not playing online games that this is the game you want to play. And if you are trying to convince people who are already playing online games, you have to convince them that the online game you have has way more to offer than the online game that they're playing right now. And I hate to break it to you, but most of those online games that still exist have existed for 10 plus years now. They have stood the test of time, and they have a backlog for people to experience. You actually can't wait for GTA 6 because you know no one else is going to release anything the month before and after it comes out. I have no interest in playing it, and I'll just have a huge chunk of stream time to play backlogged games. Nice. Good way to think about it. All right, so we got new things we can do with Pandora. While holding the X, move in any combination of left or right 3 times. After executing a hatred, spin twice. What in the world? While holding X, move left or right in any direction 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. What's that? You're just waiting for a date, everything to have a sale. It is a... Ooh, hello. Here's the centaur guy. Yeah. Half human, half demon over here, just being a bit of a shitter. You know what I find I need about the company in my town? What did you find out, Raytheon Fanatic? Is it the fact that there's the company Raytheon in your town? Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, I was not certain how I was supposed to avoid that, but okay. Am I supposed to be able to dodge that? There we go.
You can stay and die, or you can walk your ugly ass back through that gate. It's your call, pal.
Mm-hmm. Am I about to get a phase 2? Oh! Never mind. Alright, so I now get... I have no idea what this demon was called, but I imagine his name was like Ifrit or something. Yeah, that's another demon defeated. The water they use for juices and other beverages comes from an underground water vein. Like, once a water tester came by our house and tested the tap water distilled in our pump, the pump water came out cleaner than the distilled. Oh my goodness. Okay, what is this? What the fuck? Oh no, I'm barely following how to use this guy. Nice.
You are set free.
Hmm. Cool. Very extra, but that's why people love Dante.
Big from where I'm standing. Now it's just you and me, Mr. Savior.
Lucifer! Oh my god, they really just call him Lucifer? A hellish weapon capable of summoning an infinite number of exploding blades that hover ominously in the air. Position swords around you and pierce your enemies repeatedly. There is no end to the endless assault. Okay, so right trigger. I need to remember that the right trigger is what allows me to swap all the different weapons and what have you. What's that dragon called? The Valstrex Rocket Wings? Wait, are you talking about the dragon from Monster Hunter Rise that, like, goes really fast? SAC. Getting myself an A rank. Nice. Mission 17! Adagio for strings. Regain possession of Yamato. Alright. Or Yamato, I guess they call it. Alright, so we don't... Oh, okay. That's not meant for me. So we'll go... Yep, so we're going this way. Alright, so now we're getting closer and closer, like, back to the beginning where the church was and everything. So... this is very familiar to me. Alright, I'm gonna need to figure out what... I need to purchase more abilities to the Lucifer, what's-mahoozy guy, because otherwise... So otherwise I'm gonna not know how to do the explodey on command. Alright, so... plus, it's kind of cool. I like his flamboyancy. There we go. So we get that red orb. Oh my god, there's so many barriers! Oh. There we go. Yeah, no, I am himbo as fuck when it comes to how these weapons work. I am himbo, okay? Like, I work best using Rebellion of all people, okay? Hey, get myself a blue orb fragment, which is nice. Do I go? No. We keep going this way. There we go. All right, is this the last of my Pepsi Max? Probably. Mm-hmm. It's the last of my Pepsi Max. All right. All right. Oh, there's a blue orb fragment up in the top left there. Come on. Go. Much slower. Hi there, Benru! Looks like it's Pamela Anderson's persona. Who? Where? Where is Pamela Anderson's persona? Where is it? Is it a big booba? All right. Ding. Back up to Rebellion because I am most comfortable with Rebellion of all. There we go. Didn't know that was something my character can do, but hey, it works out for me. Alrighty. Oh, interesting. So that's what he does. Alright. Alright. Michael McCaw, time for me to head for bed. Have a great stream, Big Eye. Not to worry, Michael McCaw. Thank you so much for the follow and the raid earlier. I hope you have a wonderful sleeps. Alright. Still on the weight loss journey? Yes. So I've had a diet break for like the last for like most of this month, and now we're out of that. Now we're out of that business. So now we go back onto the intensive shake diet. There we go. Ow. go. It's always good to have a break. Yeah, it was nice having it was nice having a break, trying out burgers, pizzas, pasta, rice. I forgot to get myself a time at the sushi train, unfortunately, so that unfortunately I wasn't able to enjoy before I went back onto the intensive diet starting today. And I don't want to, like, you know, start the intensive diet and be like, oh wait, no, I want to have this instead, and then cancel it again. It's like, no. I want to be on this intensive diet for at least 3 weeks. I can get up to 3 months with it, and I still will be able to, like, go to, like, work does, like, a Melbourne Cup thingamadiggy in November, and I've done the calculations, and it's like, yeah, I will be able to, you know, enjoy, you know, I can go on the intensive diet for about 3 months. So I got started today, the end of July, which means end of August, end of September, end of October makes up 3 months. And then, yeah, November, I would then, you know, go on to, like, you know, the 2 shakes, 1 meal that I normally do, because I can't be on the intensive diet for longer than 3 months tops. So when it gets to November, I could then make the Melbourne Cup a cheat day. Hi there, Spidey boy. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing all right. So, yeah. So we'll see how we go with my weight loss. I did put on a bit of weight because of the fact that, like, you know, for the 3 weeks that I wasn't on my intensive wears cap, I don't know, but you know what? I will send them a message. Let me see if they will. Also, why is it there? Come on, do the capture. This PC doesn't like it when I try and do the Speedy. There we go. All right, so hopefully that won't be too big of a problem. All right, so while on the ground, pressing RB and while pressing RB forward on the left stick and then Y, multiple arrows and position them in the air in front of you. I do not have enough proud souls, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, where was I in my train of thought? You know what? Let me just stand up real quick. Although, to be real with you, I do kind of want to go to the bathroom real quick. Maybe we'll see. Actually, you know what? Probably at the end of this, I reckon I'm close to the end of this mission. Let's see if it does, like, the bullet thingamadiggies. Oh my gosh, it's what's-a-mahoozies.
It was my assumption that those demons would prove far inferior in the face of your tactics.
You summon and kill. Summon and kill. I fail to see the logic here. Said it. The price to pay for power?
What is this dramatization? Okay, why is Devil May Cry 4 doing this kind of camera work now of all time? They could have had this at the start, but they didn't. They went with this at the nearing the end. Damn, he's strong, just crushing a skull in his hands and blowing the dust.
For I am here to reclaim what is rightfully mine.
Aw, look at... The game is very quiet. I wonder... It shouldn't be
You will fumble for a position of my quest. Though I encourage for an opportunity
There we go.
to battle a being of such grand.
For whatever reason, it was at a really low volume.
It's a sweet fortune.
Hopefully that fixed it. All right, I'm gonna need to use items. Also, I realize it's a lot louder in my ears than it is for yours, so maybe I need to lower the volume of my, like, actual audio. How's it going, Izzy? I think it might be me, but I can't hear the game at all. Nearly no one mentioned the volume issue until now. I'm really glad someone did at least mention it. You mentioned you put on a bit of weight on normal food. Oh yeah, Benru. Sorry, let me go back to my conversation. So yeah, during the 3 weeks that I was on a diet break, I didn't really engage in trying to keep like a modest, like, you know, what would be sort of seen as the norm. There was way more days of, you know, I haven't had the opportunity to eat this, so I went ahead and eat it. So I was snacking way more. I went for meals that were calorie heavy that, you know, I should have had as like a once a week treat instead of once every few weeks. So yeah, I put on like, you know, 8 kilos, I think, during that time, which is quite a bit, but, you know, to be fair, that's to be assumed. And I try to make it so I told myself that it wasn't going to be the end of the world because of the simple fact that, you know, I knew I was on a diet break. I knew I was going to gain weight, and I understood that, you know, this was a nice to have kind of thing. Lord knows that, like, shouldn't be doing this both for, like, you know, weight, health reasons and for monetary reasons, because yeah, it gets a little bit expensive. Although I do need to be real with you, I need to go to the bathroom. I am so sorry. I need to hit a quick 30-second advertisement as I go to the bathroom. I am so sorry. I need to disappear. Where is my... I need to go to the bathroom. Sorry. Someone write bathroom break in the chat. Oh, Sir Dragon, thank you for the 5 gifted subs! Thank you for giving it to Warhorse Indra, Ross, the Affirmation Thesis, Prismatic Blaze, Anadak Dragon, and Korhi. Although I am now too big, so I'm going to need to... I think I have a button for this. Okay, I may not have a button for this. Hang on a second. I need to move myself down. No, do not take third from me. No! 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 Fuck! Damn it! How? Why? That amazingly. Wait, what? Alright. Hopefully advertisements are done for everyone. And I have returned. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, advertisement starts... No, let's snooze that one because, yeah, I already did the longer advertisement. Yeah, it's snoozed. Cool. Awesome. All right. Oh, wait, no, I needed to use... I know why I went to the pause menu. It's because I was nearly out of health, and I need... not spin so much, because then that way I can hit you. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Holy water. He was so low so many times, and I was just like, you know what? This is why I have the bottles of holy water. So then that way when there's a moment like these, I just throw that shit out.
You surrendered your humanity. It's that simple.
But you are not human. So why am I inferior?
You assume humans are weak. Okay, yeah, their bodies lack the physical ability of a demon. But humans possess something that demons don't.
Adrenaline.
What? What is it the demons lack? Please, for the sake of my research, please tell me. No, 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 oh, oh, no, 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 no.
If you're gonna continue your research in the next world,
No, 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 no.
do your homework first.
Note to every scientist, just because you gain power doesn't mean it's a good thing. Remember your humanity and do not turn into an asshole.
Is silence.
But yeah. Did it. Alright, so now we go into some secretive place. So this... Wait a minute. I thought the Yamato was in the, what's-a-mahoozy, guy. Is this the Yamato? Maybe it is the Yamato. Although, that's not a good sign. Good work ending the mission on the cliffhanger there, Dante. S-A-B. Didn't get any bonuses or penalties because we used items. We didn't die, thankfully, but we used items. Next mission!
I know this thing's a major cultural artifact, but it's bad for the community.
Ooh! Nice. So does this mean we now have the Yamato as Dante as a weapon to, like, you know, utilize in the daily?
You get it back?
That's one sword.
And one to go.
Wait, what?
Need some company?
I think you better help the others. Try to get them as far away from here as possible.
Got it.
Is the weapon... So, wait, hang on. So, what's the sword that they're talking about that's in the giant statue god thing? Because, god damn it, Cap is not here to explain things to me. I don't know where she is. All right, let's start this mission. Let's see. Does it tell me that I now have the Yamato and that I need to do things?
You destroyed the Hellgate.
Yeah, it kinda tainted the view. So, you ready to fight now or what?
You traveled this far to fight me. You could never touch the power of the Savior.
Sounds like you're overcompensating. Besides, I didn't want you to get a creak in your neck for looking down at me.
Silence! What would it take for you to alter your position?
How about death?
Oh, if only it was easy enough to dispatch him in 6 moves.
So, you ready to eat your words?
Do as you wish. Your attempts are futile.
Dante's fast.
The true form must be inside. Looks like it's up to me to take care of ugly hair.
What is it with Daedric, or not Daedric? The Yamato, a katana used by Dante's brother. It is the key to opening the Hell Gates, but also the key to their destruction. It can be used with a powerful Dark Slayer style. To select the dark, press the button of the currently selected style again. I am not doing too hot. Oh, I see. Oh, god damn you. Okay, maybe I get it. Hi there, Neko! I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Alright, system. Quit. I need to get out of that mission real quick and figure out what the fuck I'm doing wrong. But yeah, wrong game, sequel. Not to worry. Hey, Neko, Dante. I am...
Major cultural artifact.
I am familiar with that song, though, because it's being used in other areas for, like, memes and what have you. Alright, is there anywhere my skill... No. Styles? Nope, not there. Alrighty, so it looks like our only option is to just do normal mission start here. My goodness, my brain. Alright, so this is where we were previously. So we got the Yamato. Alright, so we get rid of that arm. I don't think I'm supposed to be there. No! Get back to over there. And I'm stuck on this wing again! There we go! So that's why they wanted me on that arm again. I'm gonna be real, that is a very gimmicky boss fight. I wasn't expecting it to be that quick of a chapter if I wasn't so dumb. Okay, so... Alright. Gonna be real with you, I have no idea what I'm doing. What in the Bayonetta did you join? I have no idea, Velk. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm trying to figure out how to deal with this boss as well, don't you worry. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just shot him with the Pandora thing a number of times. So now comes the part where I try and figure out where the fuck is he? There he is. There we go. So you're broken. So then we go over to you. There! No idea why that worked. I have one last thingamadiggy to deal with now. Nah, nothing I can do with my styles. How's it going on your side, Velk? You got started into streaming again, which was actually really cool to see. I do not have enough. What do you mean oh, 60,000 and I need 50,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You do. Oh, because that's 6 out of 6 now. And then this is 6 out of 7, and this is 1 out of 3. Alright. Do not ask me why it has a giant death laser. As soon as I sent that, it crashed. Damn it, Twitch. Oh, no. That's not what you want from Twitch. Okay, it's kind of hilarious that that thing there is able to... Fuck it. I'm sick and tired of this right now. This is a... Ah! We got him down to halfway, and I'm just gonna start using fucking holy water wherever I can. Cap will be so disappointed in me. Ow. Oh! I should have used that one way more. Go. Even so, like, didn't you absorb Yamato? Oh, that's cool.
Then you gotta take it out from the inside.
And who do we know that is inside this, you know, giant monstrosity? Nero.
Time to wake up, kid. You're missing out on all the fun. Nero!
Yeah! Excelente.
It's up to you from here, kid. An opportunity to save the world doesn't happen every day, you know. Savor it.
All right, hopefully Twitch is no longer crashing for you, Velk. But yeah, how was your first stream of Final Fantasy XIV in a long time? It's not the first time you played Final Fantasy XIV, but, you know, it's always worth asking. Stylish points D. Yeah, I didn't do too well, but it's okay. Was nice. As you saw, my sister was on too. Oh, nice. I didn't know your sister was in there.
Because I'm about to send this guy on a one-way trip to hell.
Don't worry.
All right, now to see whether or not I remember how to play as fucking Nero of all people. Damn. Wish I had this kind of movement with Dante.
I'm gonna get this done.
Got some good clips out of it. Nice. Excellent to hear. It's always good having clips for the shorter form viewing. The successor! Surmount the stairs of tribulation. Yep, everything is engaged, so we just need to start the mission. Here we go, here we go. Oh, and it's got weird eyeballs inside for whatever fucking reason. And really bright, Jesus. Oh, God, that's painful to... Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Alright. This is the stairway to heaven or hell. Who knows that we can... Oh, that as well. If it is the you desire, your other self must pass the stairs, and now you strike us and your progress will be denied. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 4. I know what I'm doing about. Ah, okay, here we go. You're off to bed, not to worry, Night Sky. Thank you so much for being here. There we go. Alright, so most likely we'll need to deal with these guys through the purple doors of all things. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's go 5. Which we can get from the 3. Because I want to see what yellow does. Wait, what? Also, why am I dealing with this guy again? Didn't we kill you before as the Dante side? There we go. There we go. Okay, so maybe maybe this is a gauntlet of bosses instead of a, puzzle thing. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn you! That's not what I wanted! Screw you, frog. Damn it. Go. I'm using a lot of my vital stars because I don't want to have to go through these bosses again. Granted, I'm going through them quicker than when I did them originally as Dante, but yeah, I don't want to have to deal with it. All right. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so once again on the 4. And that's the wrong number. That's not right. There we go. Alright, so 6 to 3. Alright, so wait for the 6, wait for the 6. And there we go. There we go. Welcome back, Goldie. How are you doing? You doing good? I am focused. I am wired into this game right now. I've used up a lot of my holy water when I was going up against one particular boss because I thought it was like the last major boss, but that wasn't the case. Alright, pick you up. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need a 5 or a 6. That is not what I wanted, but let's see what happens when we go on to blue. A little tired after camping and a long road to home. How was the camp? I forgot to ask. Alright, there we go. Some red orbs, some green orbs. Let's try and get up the green orbs if we can. There we go. Honestly, that green orb was actually really helpful. Alright, so 2 or 3. Let's see how this goes. But yeah. Oh, did you have a... You were camping out in like a forest or something like that. How did that go? There we go. I had to use a holy water thingy-majiggy. But... Success. I also have way more holy waters available than I thought I did. I thought I only had like 2 or 3 left, but it looks like I had 8. So it's very tempting when we... It's very tempting for if we get to like whatever the final boss is that we just start spamming the holy waters there just to be like, right, I don't want to engage with this. Oh, okay, so Nero is now outside of the heart, is he? No, he's still inside the body.
Hey, kid! You should see what I'm going through!
Guess we're in the same boat then.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, I think that was chapter 19. Oh my god, we actually got S in a lot of styles, but that was pretty good. Next mission. All right, which mission is this one? Because I'm pretty sure this might be the, like, 20. La Vita Nuova. Can someone do some research to see whether or not this is the last one? Because, like, we went through as Nero at the start for, like, 10 or 11 chapters. Then we went over to Dante until chapter 18. And now we've gone back over to Nero. 50-50 little sad when there are a lot of couples around and you're alone, but on the other hand, you communicated a lot and made new acquaintances. Well, that was good. That was good, Goldie. And then meanwhile, I can send you photos and videos on Telegram later. Looks it. Also, hi there, Jack. Glad to see you're here. I am going through what may be the last mission. And if that is the case, give me a second as I just... Oh, I can't buy any more holy waters. Damn, my bad. But I will at least buy that. I will buy this. And... Alright. Here, AC's replaced in your house. Nice! Does this mean that you get to now have some nice, cool temperatures? Wait, aren't you in the middle of, like, winter like I am? Isn't it, like, getting cold where you are? Or is it always just gonna be hot? You can finally experience what 20 degrees Celsius feels like. Excellent! You know what'd be better than 20 degrees Celsius feeling? 19 degrees Celsius! And you can do that with the power of your AC. It is an amazing piece of technology, isn't it? That you get to just terraform the inside of your home. It's 31 degrees, 36 degrees outside. Oh my goodness. I do not envy you. Sometimes we get that kind of hot temperature here in Australia, but that's not the standard. We're more like 29s.
We had originally intended Dante to form the Savior's Core.
Oh, here's the Demon Pope.
Would have been wise.
Oh my god, he even looks way more like a demon than before. Yep, Demon Pope.
For regrets. Now release Kyrie. Why oppose the order? I knew your faith was weak, but I always thought you served our wishes.
Bad enough you lying about all this and trying to kill me. But what really pissed me off was using Kyrie.
This man has only one thought in his mind at each time. And all of it has to resolve around Kyrie for one reason or other. Bro, I'm not Australian, goober. Why would you think I'll ever experience winter? You're in the southern hemisphere, aren't you? The northern hemisphere is experiencing summer right now. I thought you would be, like, would you ever get a winter? Ever? I don't know.
Wrapping things up on my end.
Don't be too
Now, Jack, it would be the funniest thing, but if this is the last boss, what if I just use nothing but holy water? I have 10 of them. There's a good chance. Singapore is near on the equator, north of it. Oh my goodness. God damn you. Could you, like, stop, you know, floating around, your holiness? Would be greatly appreciated. Oh boy. Is he telegraphing all of his attacks? I do not know. This is my first time playing this guy. Or, like, I've faced the Pope before, but not with this kind of bullshit. Let me tell you. I've also done, like, no damage to him either. Like, that's the other unfortunate thing as well. Like, look at him. He's still on the... But yeah, you see how... Oh, that broke him out of it. Okay, I was joking of maybe I should just use the holy waters on him, but I'm gonna be real with you. With the amount of bullshit... Bad and no hope. Yep, no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Retry this mission. Oh my god, he is. Wait, he is telegraphing his... Like, is it because of the voice lines and such, Velk? You're welcome to sit in the VC and explain this shit to me, because Lord knows I don't understand a single fucking thing.
Here as you are overall. It seems like he's telegraphing every one of his attacks with a certain coastline.
Yeah. Like
when it says burn is the fireball, which means that you probably don't want to be in the air. He always says, I sentence you to death for the laser beams.
Yep. But yeah. my issue isn't like the dodging stuff, because I kind of have like, it's trying to get him to, like, you know, out of his like floating orb moment and over into a like actually engaging him in damage. That's my issue. Because like this, I can get him out of his shield. He then has these annoying things. So yeah, so now he's out of his orb form, but now comes the new problem of, like...
Yeah, the auto attack.
Ah, there we go.
On little orbs, but...
Now comes the new problem. Ah, damn you! And I wasted that devil trigger.
Can you swap targets so that you're not attacking the floor?
No, it does not give me that option. Like, hang on.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, it's where is it? Just after attack. No, it's not there. Where in the world? Systems, options.
They had it in DmC too. It would be weird if they removed it.
Lock on type. Lock on type. Get to enemies in the direction you press. Give to enemies in front of you. Give to enemies that are closest to you. That you press with the... So, okay, maybe? Hang on. Maybe I need to click the left thumb button? Maybe that's what it is?
Give that a go.
Forgiveness from the Savior.
I just tried cooking, so it did not do that. his orb is back up again, which is annoying.
It's like the sword rips all the parts, but just getting there seems to be a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
And also locking onto it instead of the little...
Well, here's the problem, is that even if I get a lucky hit on him, that's the problem, is that he is... that.
Protecting himself with the
Yeah.
sword thing.
That. Ah, fuck it. I'm just gonna...
I'm looking at a website on this, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, this boss sucks. I hate this boss. There's one person with, like, one upvote saying, yeah, I didn't mind it, it's underrated. But yeah, a lot of people seem to dislike this.
There we go. Asshole. Fucking hated him. But yeah, I had like 10 or 10 plus holy waters, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start spamming them.
Yeah, fair enough. All's fair in death and killing.
All is fair in devils and crying.
Sparta had a heart.
I thought they never did that.
Another person.
Yeah, devils never cry, but you get it.
And that is what you lack. This time I will save you. Just hold on.
I swear to Christ, if this guy has a phase 2... That was cool. And there we go.
Sorry I took so long.
The Pope Devil is dead. Did he
It's over.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I almost thought for a second, I was like, did Dante actually, like, just stop the fist? But nah. It was just coinky dink. Well, they got rid of the Demon Gate, but the good news is they have a new set piece for the town.
Took your time.
What? You looking for an apology?
Well, how long am I gonna have to wait for it?
Oh, what? He's still alive?
Just let it go.
This is where it started. And this is where it'll land. On my hand.
All right, then. Go finish it, kid.
Wait for me. You know, God, I always hated that you made my arm like this. But now with it, I can destroy this thing. Who would have thought?
Are you kidding me? Oh, okay, so I just have to... There we go.
Now I know. This hand was made for sending gods like you back to hell. And now you die.
Yeah! Big explosion. Also, I just realized I have not been streaming this experience to you, Velk, so you don't get, like, a couple minutes delay.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I have to skedoodle in a bit anyway.
No, that's fair enough, that's fair enough.
So now phase 3?
I swear to Christ. Look, I
Guess I should thank you.
I don't know how I feel about with bosses in the Devil May Cry series.
Instead.
Yeah, that sounds better. Still, I owe you.
Like, the bosses are not set pieces. Everything else in the combat, however, is.
Take care of yourself.
Wait. You forgot this.
Keep it.
What? I thought this meant a lot to you.
That's the only kind of gift worth giving. I want to entrust it to you, so I am. What you do from here is your call.
Hey, Dante. Will we meet again?
No clear answer? Fine.
So, is this the end?
Maybe. Maybe.
The city's a wreck.
Yeah.
I am still alive, right?
Yeah. We both are. Kitty A. If I'm a demon and not a human anymore, is this what you want?
Nero, you're you. And it's you I want to be with. I don't know anyone who is as human as you are.
You smooth motherfucker, you kept the necklace. Okay, that actually spooked me. I was just like, what the f—
Looks like they're determined to interrupt. Guess that kiss is gonna have to wait.
It's all right. I'll wait.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness, it's time for the— hopefully everyone else can see the,
Can't commit at all.
not to worry. Thank you for keeping me company tonight.
Have fun, and grants.
Thank you. Oh, I was supposed to keep Kyrie alive. That was not my intention. Damn. Congratulations! Guess you aren't some casual gamer. Gallery cannot be scented. Game clear bonus art has been added. The history of DMC has been added. Character images have been added. Woo! So yay! Finished 20 missions. Oh, okay, cool. So from 11 and then from 12. So then there's all these different settings, and there's thingy, and then there's that. Gallery, library. We are done. We are finished with the Devil May Cries. And Cap wasn't here to serenade us. What a shame. But yeah, that is it. Granted, we're finishing this, like, relatively early. Like, I've only been streaming for, like, the last 2.5 hours, but I don't want to pick up on a new game at this hour either. I am totally up for a little bit of chatting if you want. But yeah. Going through the Devil May Cry series, granted, I'm not doing them explicitly, you know, back to back to back to back to back, because, you know, they're only going off like once a week. But Devil May Cry 4, they're like the things that I think it gets down right, the mechanics. It gets the combat mechanics down right. Absolutely. It gets it so well. And I personally, hi there, Hawaiian Pizza. You just missed me finishing Devil May Cry 4. We finished it. I succeeded. It was a fairly good game. I applaud the combat. Every time I finish one of these Devil May Cry games, it's like, yeah, the combat was fun. I know it may not show it there either, especially when you know, closer to the end, whenever I dealt with bosses, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we're using items. Fuck it, we're using holy water. Let's use this vital star to keep me alive. Oh, is this guy being extra annoying? More holy water. Like, I know I was doing that, but that was more because of the bosses. And I think after going through the Devil May Cry games that I've gone through so far, the bosses, for whatever reason, are not the highlight. Like, when I think of like good bosses, I think of, you know, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 or Dark Souls. Like, those games have good, like, boss interactions and designs. Now, and they go and that's like, you know, for whatever reason, because like Dark Souls is close mechanically to Devil May Cry, well, much closer mechanically to Devil May Cry than, say, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. But yeah, like, I don't know what to tell you there. So yeah. I wish I had more to talk about. Maybe if like Cap was here to bounce off, I might have, like, you know, more to say, more questions, more answers, and what have you. But yeah, no, it was a good game. I wouldn't rate it. Actually, no, I think I still would. I think that as I've been progressing through the game, I have been enjoying it the way I have. A part of me does think Devil May Cry 3 was a little more fun. I don't know why. Like, I know there was frustrating points in Devil May Cry 3, but not like near the end of the game or anything like that. There was frustrating points with Devil May Cry 3 at like the middle or maybe at the start, but that might be just because of teething issues. I didn't have, like, yes, Virgil was difficult in Devil May Cry 3, but I felt like he was, you know, meant to be difficult and what have you. He was always like a major step in terms of mechanical progression as a player. Whereas in this game with Devil May Cry 4, I don't know, maybe I was just getting tired of how the bosses wanted me to engage them and such, and I didn't want to. Yeah, don't know what to tell you about the bosses. I don't know. What did everyone else think? Did you enjoy it? There is more Devil May Cry I'm going to need to go through, though, however. That is absolutely certain. There is going to be you know what's really tempting to do? Like, I know, like, progression, like, if I only go by the What's-a-Mahoozy order, oh, Hawaiian Pizza's just casting their line. If I go by like the release order of the normal Devil May Cry, like, the obvious answer is to go and play Devil May Cry 5. But it's really tempting, especially with next week, to go through DmC Devil May Cry, because I know some people are like really not, like, they don't like that game or what have you, but I am gonna be honest with you, when I played it for the first time, I remember enjoying it. When I went into this series of Devil May Cry's on Mondays, I kept thinking back to, yeah, this, like, you know, the fun of DmC, like, remake. So it would honestly be a little bit interesting. I wonder if I would still have the same sort of thoughts going through DmC after going through the first 4 Devil May Crys, because I'm pretty sure, like, as far as order of release goes, like, that's how it's gone. Is it goes, you know, Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3. Devil May Cry 4 was then for, like, the entirely new console generation of the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Then there was, like, you know, a gap of not new Devil May Cry. So then Ninja Theory came in with a Devil May Cry game that was very much a retelling of Devil May Cry 3, I would say, /1, because of, you know, you had Virgil and Dante together, defeating Mundus, defeating all kinds of different demons, and then at the end, defeating Virgil. Very much Devil May Cry 3 stuff. So yeah, it was very much a concatenation of Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 2. So I wonder if I can go through DmC Devil May Cry and still enjoy it. It would be interesting. And I want... Plus, you know, peeps, I reckon, would actually come over to this game and be like, is it good? Is this the shit game? Who knows? But yeah. Maybe go through this, then Devil May Cry 5. Like, hang on a sec. Devil May. So yeah, so we got through so yeah, we went through HD, we've gone through 4. We got to go through 5 at some point. I know we have to go through 5 at one point or another. Otherwise, what is the point of going through a franchise? But I want to go through DMC. I want to see what that experience is like. I reckon it would be a good experience. All right, what are we going to do next? Also, why is my... Oh, it doesn't like... Interesting. Sorry, I'm just like looking at an overlay and it's not... Edit layout. Actually, you know what? Let's do this edit layout thing and then... Save. There we go. That way we're not sitting... All right. Is there anything else that I want to talk about? I've already gone into the fact that I'm done with my diet break from like because I was on a diet break for most of this month, but I can send you photos or videos on Telegram later. It's very beautiful, and you can watch them on stream. I have not set up my stream to, capture my Telegram because I don't want to accidentally dox anyone or myself for that matter. So I won't be doing that. I'm sorry to say. I tried not to. I don't want to accidentally reveal information on stream and what have you, because I'm not too... Oh, hi, Unnamed. You missed it, Unnamed. You missed it. I finished Devil May Cry 4 this evening. I got it done far quicker than I thought I would be. Like, I thought I would be going at it for like 3-4 hours. Nah. We got it done in like an hour and a half. So yeah, and I'm contemplating whether or not next Monday's stream is going to be of DMC Devil May Cry, or if we're just going to go straight into Devil May Cry 5. I kind of want to do DMC Devil May Cry 5 just so I can have the more recent experience of DMC, like the remake, and be like, all right, is it as good as I thought it was before? Like, especially since I've now gone through like the first 4 Devil May Cries that came out beforehand now. So yeah, it was good combat. Not a huge fan of the boss. Awesome at the end, I'm going to be real with you. But I'm starting to figure out, or I'm not figure out, but I'm starting to see a bit of a trend where I'm going through DMC and some of the bosses are not that enjoyable. The last enjoyable boss I had was Virgil, I think, in Devil May Cry 3. Like, the first time I fought Virgil and the last time I fought Virgil. How was Ready or Not, by the by? Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a clip shout out. We're gonna see what clip we get when we shout out Unnamed like this. What do we get? Oh, this is your earlier model. Oh. What happened there?
Amazing packet loss.
Was it packet loss, or did you just, like, turn your ship? Packet loss? I don't know. It looked like I can... Like, hang on a sec. Can I play it again? Let me see. Oh, I can't play it again. Darn it. It looked like you were trying to do, like, some... It looked like you were trying to do some sort of, like, turn or something, but then you just point... But, like, as you were spinning the jet, it then pointed downwards, and you hit a mountain that was right in front of you. Or maybe you were supposed to turn up. I don't know. Yeah, it was. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Unnamed. I could choose not to go to Texas next year. That turn is an impossibility. I don't know how you wrote that. I have no idea how you wrote that, Unnamed. What am I supposed to interpret that as? Impossibility? Impossibility? Fuck you, Unnamed. Any whoosies. What am I going to be doing? You just woke up. Fuck off. Fair enough. Also, what time is it in Central Time? 5:45 a.m. Oh my goodness. You have literally just woken up. And you've woken up at like not a super early time either. Like I can totally imagine someone in Texas waking up at 5:45. Although I doubt that that is like the immediate time you woke up. You woke up at like earlier, didn't you? You woke up at like 5 o'clock or maybe 4 in the morning, and you were like, God damn it, why am I awake? And then you tried to go to sleep, and then you couldn't go to sleep, and so you said, fuck it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check out whoever is streaming right now. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. There's just something. I don't know why, but the way you say, yeah, unnamed, like, it's in my fucking head. It's like an earworm. Yeah. So yeah. But I am now on the intensive shake diet. So all 3 of my meals are going to be really low calories, which means that I am most certainly going to have way less energy throughout the day as I am losing weight and what have you. It is enough to keep my internal organs running and all that kind of nonsense, obviously. But I'm trying to lose weight is the point. I'm not trying to have energy to be extra entertaining or anything like that. It's why they do not recommend you exercise while on the intensive shake diet, because, you know, you've got so little energy. Like, what in the actual fuck are you going to be doing? So yeah. All right. Where is my brain? What do we got next? Because it's really tempting to just prattle on for like an extra minute or two. Oh yeah, I need to figure out unnamed. What is a really good way? I need to find a good way to advertise and do a call of action to help support me going to Texas next year. Like, granted, that's not for like another August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. It's not for like another 8 to 9 months. No, 8 to 7 months, but you know, I'm not exactly saving money at a breakneck speed with like large quantities. Treat it like a drive. Okay. All right. The only drive, remind every stream. Yeah, the only I'm trying to think. The only drives that I've done have been like the macro March drives during, you know, as the title self-explanatory, macro March, where I just like made the Zeebs bigger and what have you. So like I'm trying to like, would it make sense to make it a growth drive, or would I need or do we need to be just a donation drive or some sort? Yeah, it would need to be a donation drive, and maybe there would need to be incentives on stream, and they would need to be like long incentives that can go off at any time. Remind audiences what they get. Grant Texas IRL content. Ooh, fair point. Fair point there, because there is definitely going to be some fun Texas stuff happening, and oh, I need to repair my fursuit. Although then that brings a spanner into the works. Okay, question. Can you wear a fursuit at a gun range? Guns, food, drinking, partying, etc. Oh yeah, hobby horse. That was the idea for being able to take photos and what have you in when there's like, you know, can't put in the time, or if I don't have my fursuit with me when I'm up in the States, is we will just use a zebra hobby horse as a stand-in, similar to how when you were doing your Texas Fur Fiesta, was it this year or last year? You did a Texas Fur Fiesta, and your stand-in was a blue plank of wood, like Ed, and Eddie, where they just had plank. Like, hang on a second, where's my Opera GX? This year, yeah. So you did like a thingamadiggy. All right, give me a second. Ed, and Eddie plank. So yeah, so you did like something of that caliber. All right, let me see. Unnamed 471 plank. Nah, that didn't work. Just pull up my TikTok. All right, unnamed 471 TikTok. The unnamed gene. Here it is. Shit posts and hang on. I need to. You have so many fucking TikToks. I need to get back into doing TikToks and what have you. But I just have like even when I was on my here it is.
1, 2, 3, my baby don't mess around because she loves
I cannot have this music playing, otherwise I'll get in trouble. So that's you in a Buc-ee's. And then another plank holding the drinks. Messy. So, like, were you able to just fit this in your pocket or something? Like, I have no idea. Like, how tall was this? How tall was this plank of? Okay, there's the approximate height. So it's not higher than a It's not taller than a seat, at least. Me and Frack would take turns babysitting him. Okay. Also, the corn dog. Dealey Plaza. I have no idea what Dealey Plaza is. Oh, is that where the book depository is? Oh my god, and you met Fiona. 20 caught me off guard. I didn't know they had a fursuit. It was a cute partially they seemed to chill. Wait, what's page 20? I have no idea where 20 is. Hang on a second. I now need to start all the way back at the beginning and start counting. This is terrible. Hang on. Is there a way for me to... Hang on. Let me just go up one. And then go down one. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is Fiona. And then that's 17 where we saw that. 18, 19, and then 20. Oh, nice! Zyko, they're a TikToker. The fursuit? Like I do recognize the furry somewhere. I just didn't know where. And then 21, I recognize her. I don't remember her name. But yeah, that's cool. A normal stream. What is a normal stream?
It intercept me so hard. It intercept me so hard. Oh.
Yeah, you need to be reset so hard. Buc-ee's, you good? Who made that sticker? That is not a real Buc-ee's decal. You do not gaslight me. That is not a Buc-ee's decal. That is someone. Hang on a second. That's moving to the left, moving down. That is someone got a sticker at TFF. Yeah, that's what I thought. That was from. That was a TFF sticker. See you next year. And then... At TFF, but forced into a VR chat for a party. No, Quinn, I don't care that you're drowning. I should be blackout downtown. No, I'm not turning on the audio. I don't know. Unless, hang on. Oh, you mean, hang on, let's...
Coward. We have a new world to conquer. You make me sick.
Leave me alone, please.
Hiding in the shadows. Hiding from who you truly are.
Oh.
You can't escape yourself.
Also, one of the things, I'm gonna need to find this on Amazon. I need to find a good size one. So, because there's something else that I would like. I would like something like these. Look at this. You can get zebra. I didn't realize what these things were called. I thought there was like some special, I didn't know there was a special name to them. I thought they were just a onesie, but it's called a kigurumi, which is absolutely amazing. Like, you can just get a fucking, like, zebra kigurumi. And they only cost like $30. Well, this one does at the very least. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's going to be comfy, because I could totally imagine having it as like a sleepover attire, but I don't know if it would be comfortable, like, to actually sleep in and what have you. That's the problem. Let's see for onesie. Like, are these comfortable to wear? Copy, open new tab, paste and search. Like, are they meant for sleeping attire? Animal onesie costume. Okay, there's a full-blown website. Good to know. So you can get like fox, alpacas, a cat, a werewolf, a duck, hedgehog. Oh my god, they even have a Snorlax. Okay, is it cosplay pajamas? Okay, so it is meant to be pajamas. Good to know. Unnamed. We need to find out one of these kinds of things. We also need to figure out hang on a second. All right, so we finished. Oh wait, no, I've already crossed it out of that list. Good to know. So yeah, so we finished Blueprints back on late Saturday night, which was pretty good. And then we've gone through Devil May Cry 4, which means we need to do DMC and Devil May Cry 5. This Saturday, I'm going to be going through Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, and then I'll need to figure out whether it's going to be going into Bioshock Infinite or if I'm going to do Monster Hunter World instead. Who knows? And then, yeah, these are my plans for, like, Texas for Fiesta. I figured out, like, the cost of different things. I got plans. I have so many plans. Alright, so we got goat. There's a Cheshire cat. A walrus. A moose. Sloth. Winnie the Pooh. That guy looks sus when he, like, looks at us like that. Let's see. Sheba. Corgi. Let's see. Oh my god, the raccoon is sold out. The goat is sold out. They got Eeyore. Sheep. Fennec. Axolotl. Santa Elf. I'll be real with you. This I would probably wear for Christmas. Then we've got Sasquatch. Another walrus. Then they have Shark. I feel like Shark would have been extra popular. Let's have a look. Tabby Cat, Grim Reaper, Ringtail Lemur, Raven. Oh my god, Jack the Crow could get a costume. More Eeyore. Fuck, you know what? Let's just type. Let me just go to animals. Actually, zebra. Let me just type in zebra. Do they have a zebra one? The first ones they show are possum, axolotl, and then they have blog, new styles, cheetah, sloth, and zebra. So they have a sloth, zebra, memorial. All of our discontinued Kiriguri ones, they may be gone, but we still love them. We celebrate. No! Are you fucking kidding me? The zebra is in the in memorial section? Are you fucking with me? When? When did they decide to get rid of the zebra? Where? When? Snow leopard, when was this post? Like, gosh darn it. April 2012. Oh my god. So this could have been killed off so soon. Where is it? Okay, so the Cheshire Cat, they got Tigger. Where is it? Where is the zebra? How far back did you get rid of him? No onesies were discontinued in 2022. Chameleon. Neon Rainbow Kitty. Zebra. God damn it! Striking Black and Ill. God damn it! 2021! We're too late! Damn you. Darn. Could have been good. Because now it's like all these like weird places. Hello there, Automica. Welcome to the stream. We are done with Devil May Cry 4 tonight. It was fairly good. I was not a huge fan of the bosses, but I'm starting to notice a bit of a trend where I go through the bosses of Devil May Cry, and a lot of the times I am not a fan of them. I'm sorry to say. A lot of the time I can very much like, you know, take it or leave it, and more often than not, I'll just leave it. So, it's unfortunate that it's like that, but it is what it is. So, I decided to, like, you know, be just chatty for a few minutes as I go through my brain of, like, you know, news in my horizon, which is things such as going on to the intensive shake diet again after, you know, having a diet break for the last 3 weeks. In the horizons, in the next, I need to figure out a way of saving lots of money or getting donations for trying to get to Texas in next year for Texas Fair Fiesta. The registration isn't open yet, but people have already like booked or reserved hotel rooms and what have you. So there's that. So yeah, I got to keep an eye out for that. I'll probably do something like important. I'll probably do something proper on stream when TFF registration opens up, because I feel like that is, once that hits off, then I can start being like, hey, Zeebs is going to TFF. Zeebs is going to be trying to do these kinds of things, and he is short this much amount of money or something like that. So that would be good. What else is in my brain? Is there anything else for me to talk about? I don't think so. Yeah, no, I think that's it. We're going through a bit this week. So this Wednesday we're going to be going through Death Stranding 2, and we're going to do it again on Friday. Now, the reason that I'm doing 2 streams of Death Stranding this week, with a Wednesday and a Friday night, is because I kind of want to get done with brand new games on my streams. I like brand new games, don't get me wrong, but I think I either need to go through the brand new games as quickly as possible, or I do not engage with them on stream. Because I've noticed some people, while they may like, you know, seeing me play video games and such, a lot more people don't want to watch me play a game that they are also looking to play and don't want to be spoiled. And I totally get that. I have not watched anyone playing Deltarune because I do not want to be spoiled when I go into Undertale and later on Deltarune. I've not played Undertale, and I feel like it would be appropriate to go through Undertale first and then jump into Deltarune. And I don't want anything from Deltarune, you know, coloring my opinion on how to go through Undertale. So there's that. So we'll get Death Stranding 2 done. I don't know how quickly I can get it done. I don't think I'll get it done in this week. The game can be rather big, although to be fair, they do make it sound like as if once I get Australia all squared away on the map, that there is another place we're going to need to go after that. So who knows how well this is going to go. Where else is my brain? Where else is my brain? Yeah, just go through work. You know, day in, day out. Try not to get into any of the snacks, which is the intention. Also, sippies. All right. You know what? I say we're done tonight. I say this is it. I think we can call the stream here. We are going to go and have a look and see who we are going to raid. Actually, no, that's not true. I have been looking at the raid browser, you know, here and there when I've been in the middle of chatting and when I've not been in Opera GX. And there is a name I have not seen stream in so long. And we're going to go raid into someone named Nubs. They look to be going through some Atlas, so they get to go through some furry bait games for you, so hopefully chat will enjoy that. If you are subscribed, you're welcome to use the himbo raid with the icon, with the emojis. If you are not, you know what? That's okay. You're welcome to use whatever other emotes you want with the himbo raid. I won't judge. I appreciate you being here for going through Devil May Cry 4 and getting that done. Thank you so much. I will be online for Death Stranding 2 on Wednesday night, but if you're in a different time zone and, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday night doesn't suit you Australian time zone wise, then there's always the late night Saturday streams that I do where we're going to be going through the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. Because I've never played Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and so my one experience of Elder Scrolls Oblivion has been through the remaster. So I guess that's my, you know, sub-rule of whether or not I play brand new games, is that I won't play brand new games unless they're a remaster of an older game, because 9 times out of 10, if I want to experience an old game everyone has played, go through the remake. So yeah. Otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.